Hello everybody, I'm Conquering History Games and welcome back to part 11 of my United States of America campaign here in Hearts of Iron 4, The New Order. So the Kennedy administration has begun, Nixon just resigned, but we're going to finish up the Recognizing the Republic of India just so we can get the political power, and then we're going to actually get started on his stuff. But right now the main priority is we've got to get things a little bit under control here in South Africa. So I'm sending some of my, you know what, I shouldn't even go through here. Yeah. We're going to take the U2 divisions. Let's put you right here and prepare to do a slice across the west because things, I don't know what the heck's going on here. I guess it's because the South Africans got too excited by so much of West Africa being taken. Like they're going to Ethiopia right now, and there's nothing I can do to stop them. So we've got to focus on encirclements so that we could so we could focus on destroying the divisions so then we don't have to worry about counterattacks. The man from Angola, that's over here, climbed the staircases 2 steps at a time, surprised he hadn't been stopped yet. At the top, he would find the opposite of the man they call Mr. Joe Kennedy, the American king or prime minister or whatever it was they had. The big boss, anyway. There it was. He'd be able to plead his case. Perhaps they could help. A young man stepped out of the office, looked up at the Angolan with surprise. "Sorry," he said, "but you can't just walk in there." Was this John Kennedy? He tried to remember the lines he practiced in the mirror. "Excuse me, are you Joe Kennedy?" The white man looked at him with a furrowed brow. "I'm his chief of staff, Robert. What is this about? Who are you?" The Angolan struggled to remember the right words in English. I am Angolan. I come here to America because of the Germans. They caused so much suffering. Since I come here, I ask for help for Angola, as all say America is for freedom, but nobody lets me speak. I wish to speak to Joe Kennedy for my people." Robert Kennedy had heard about the killings in Angola. The Germans had been slaughtering people all over the world for 20 years, and people had become desensitized to it. But, he thought, maybe it was worth trying. Even if it only saved a few people, surely it was worthwhile. Surely he had a duty to convince his brother. Kennedy smiled at the Angolan. "Well, I'm sure you don't have an appointment. Why don't you come in? I'm sure we could spare a few minutes for your concerns." If we can make the world a bit better, we should, or we must clean up at home first. So I have no idea what these are going to do. We're going to say if we can make the world a bit better. You know, Nixon's out. Everybody's feeling happy. Want to be happy again. Alright, so we've got our first division already down here. The Angels have arrived, and the 101st Airborne is going to come. Let's try to rescue these African divisions here first. We do have an obligation to our allies, a moral one if nothing else. Damn it. Argenio. Okay, our tank division here. We're trying to get a tiny little encirclement here. It's probably not really worthwhile. Yeah, there's not even any divisions here, so let's stop and we'll just go west instead. They are not letting me go through, are they? Wait, what flag is that? Who is this? Who's this here? That's the Boer Republic. How do they still have divisions if they're dead? There must be, I guess their government's in exile somewhere. Yeah, I guess West Africa is hosting them or something. What's going on with Speer? Oh, he's dead. He's dead. It ain't happening. Tough break, kid. Shouldn't have been a Nazi. Ooh, nice. We got that overrun. Oh, no. Come on, come on, come on. I want to save them. The delicate balance has shifted. I don't know who it said, but it's definitely not. I don't think it's shifting in Boer's favor, basically. Come on, y'all. Catch up. Catch up. They're really squeezing it. Dang it. They couldn't get there in time, bastards. So we've recognized India. Yeah. The Calcuttan people are pissed. Whatever. Kennedy presidency. Let's get healing, y'all. After the resignation of Richard Milhouse Nixon, it appears Americans once again are able to look to a leader who inspires trust, hope, and confidence in John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Having desired the presidency for many years, it appears Providence has done what JFK himself could not. Cleared of wrongdoing in Nixon's scandals, Kennedy stands ready with the support of the nation to shape the United States into a truly greater and freer country. From civil rights to social programs, the Kennedy presidency is shaping up to be prosperous, should he succeed in the upcoming presidential elections. Are we going to be able to do these all in time? Okay, these look like they're all... No, they're not all 2 weeks. So I figure they're 21 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get this done before the election. So it's only if he's reelected that we'll be able to continue down that path. Alright. The heating pot. As the death count steadily increases and more honest Americans mourn their loved ones, the political temperature is rising up at an alarming speed after dozens of weekly reports from the FBI documenting the ever... Okay, so these are protests here in the United States. Right before the gates to the presidential residence stood, grim and silent, dozens of men and women of all ages. Some held photos of husbands, children, brothers whose bodies, lost in the jungle or mangled beyond recognition, that they couldn't even hold for a last goodbye. Other posters decried the useless sacrifice of human lives and accused the bloodthirsty capitalists who fed on death to be the true force behind the government's decision to increase the draft. When did I increase the draft? I didn't increase the draft! The guards outside were visible in difficulty. They surrounded the small crowd but didn't try to dislodge them as they were unarmed and quiet. They didn't scream or try to force the block. They all waited there and looked at a certain window where a certain person was looking back. The president couldn't see their eyes. They were too distant for that, but he felt it. That cold, unwavering stare, full of hate and desire for vengeance. It made chills run down his spine. We need to get a handle on this. There will be a rise in extremism. We're going to lose political power and war support. But I did not increase the draft. All right, let's be very clear. So I guess we have to spend some political power on spreading our message or whatever. Word of the day is message, so let's spread the word. I heard that the word of the day was legs. God damn it, Jack.
Let's go.
Alright, a little bit of force attack here. We just got to get these guys out of South Africa. You know, let's take Windhawk back and start pushing north through Luanda, and then, support's gonna back off. We're about to give South Africa a nice little boost. Polls have been updated. Guess I should check in on them. Excellent. Oh my gosh, yeah, it looks like an NPP sweep is inbound right now. Margaret Thatcher Milk Snatcher has become the elected English Prime Minister. Young Thatcher, because it's only 64. Oh my god, what happened? John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the newly inaugurated President of the United States, smiled and waved to the crowd from the motorcade, driving him through downtown Dallas, accompanied by Governor John Connally of Texas and their wives. Kennedy was enjoying the cool breeze through his hair and the adoration of the onlookers. He was already more popular than Nixon, and had achieved significant success at calming the nation after Nixon's ignominious fall from grace. Connally turned to the president, commenting that nobody could say all of Dallas didn't love him. "No," replied the president, flashing the governor his winning smile. "You certainly can't." As he turned back to the crowd, he heard a sudden blast, and his head blew apart, showering his wife with blood. As the dust settled, 2 bodies were brought into the city morgue, the president's and that of a young black man, shot dead by Officer J.D. Tippit while attempting to steal a car at gunpoint. He was later identified as Martin Joseph Henry, a Guyanese immigrant who worked as a custodian in the Dallas County Courthouse. Police investigating the courthouse found a Carcano rifle stashed in a 4th-floor maintenance closet, and several shell casings were found by a window overlooking the stretch of road where the president was shot. A search of his apartment also revealed a motive. Henry was a fervent Guyanese nationalist, and he felt he had to stop American hegemony over his home nation at any cost. As Speaker of the House and acting Vice President, John McCormick prepares to take the oath of office. America is slowly coming to grips with this tragedy just after wrapping their heads around the reality of Nixon's resignation. People are nervous for the future, both their own and that of their nation. But no matter how bleak it may seem, there's a sense that the American people will have to pick up those pieces and soldier on as they always have. If not us, then who? Replace the American malaise. So the American malaise, let's kind of review that. That hurts our political power, recruitable population factor, stability, and war support. It's now going to be full-blown American despair, which is going to make all that worse as society has grown, more divided. Damn. Couldn't even get off the ground running. So I've actually been to Dallas, because, I live in Texas. Pretty easy to get there. Actually, that's not true. California is actually... I live in El Paso, so California is actually faster to drive to than Dallas. But so I went, and a few friends of us, we decided to go visit Dealey Plaza. And and they have marked on the street the 2 areas where Kennedy was shot. Like, they're marked with X's. And I swear we almost saw a woman get run over. She decided to run out into the street so a friend of hers could take a picture of her, like, posing next to the X's. And she almost got run over because it's still an active street. That was just, oh my gosh. Anyway, so the Guyanese, I guess that's going to be the official story. But you know what? Extremism was rising in America right before this happened. So there's going to be plenty for the conspiracy theorists to work with in upcoming decades. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the newly inaugurated president of the United States, was assassinated this afternoon while being driven through the city of Dallas by a man identified as a radical Guyanese nationalist motivated by the belief that President Kennedy was intent on hegemonizing his country. After the recent disgrace and resignation of President Nixon and the sudden and disturbing murder of his successor, the United States is in a state of shock. Speaker of the House John McCormick was raced to the White House to be sworn in as president and attempted to gain control of the traumatized country. America has suffered through a tumultuous few years, and now the nation's future seems more uncertain than ever. Time will tell if Americans rise to the occasion or collapse under the pressure. It takes just a second to die. So McCormick's in charge. So I want to just very briefly talk about... I'm actually not going to talk about him that much, but you should definitely look into it yourself. But fun fact, people forget about this because, Watergate was going on. But at the same time that was happening, Nixon's vice president, Spiro Agnew, was also under investigation for bribery and other such charges. But there was definitely a potential situation where Nixon could have been impeached or resigned, and then Spiro Agnew would have become president while also under his own investigation, and then he could have been impeached or forced to resign as well, in which case it would have reverted to the Democratic Speaker of the House at the time to become the President of the United States. Well, it kind of depends on where in the timeline it happens, but things were getting a little bit wild there. So I guess this is the year of 3 presidents, huh? John McCormick's in charge. Let's learn about him. For most presidents, their inauguration is the culmination of years of political ambition and success, bringing them to the highest office in the land and a chance to ultimately shape the nation to their ideals. Former Speaker of the House, John McCormick, is not one such president. Rushed out of Congress and into the White House on a day of panic and blood, he is faced with a nation in turmoil. Outrage over President Nixon's actions on civil rights has shattered any semblance of political decorum in Congress, with constant shouting matches taking more time than legislation. The people have made their voice heard as well, with riots and protests breaking out weekly, and voters changing their registration to support the radicals of the National Progressive Party. McCormick has isolated himself in the White House, only speaking to trusted aides and friends on the matters affecting the nation, and leaving his deputies to calm the turbulent waters America is headed for. Facing a party in crisis, the divisive issue of segregation, and the rapidly escalating war in South Africa, the reluctant president's next days in office will change the nation's direction for years to come. So that's a little awkward with the Kennedy presidency still right next to it. Oh, cool. Advisor level is up. Okay, yeah, so we gotta keep crank it up, baby. Crank up the involvement. Oh, shoot, we've been isolated. Speaking of... Okay, no, that's fine, it's fine. We just come here, we're fine, we're gonna get out of this. Ah! Oh, no! Wasn't paying attention. Kind of some things were going on at home. All 3 of my divisions have been surrounded. Shoot. Okay, stop. You come up here. Right now. We just gotta take this tile and this tile, and then it's gonna be fine. Ah! Force attack! You know what? Are you trying to go south? You need to stop doing that. You instead, I think, need to come here, then here. The rape of Quelimane. What? What is happening? Everyone expected Hans Hittig to try his best to keep faith to his promise of revenge. After all, he was known for his vengeful temper long before taking his office in the Dark Continent. What few predicted, however, was the extent of such single-minded will. The Reich Kommissar immediately launched a furious counter-offensive until the front fell back to the occupied Quelimane. What followed was one of the greatest tragedies to befall this bloodied land. Aerial reconnaissance had shown only minimal troop movements near the city, and the garrison believed they could hold out in the hastily repaired German defenses. This belief soon turned hollow, as the attackers made use of an unmarked web of tunnels known only to the highest officers to secretly enter the city at night. Is that how they took it? Silently, like snakes stalking their prey with the cover of night, SS snipers surgically removed all sentinels and took position around the barracks, waiting for the signal. As soon as it arrived, a single artillery shot, the poisonous jaws closed and the slaughter began. The defenders couldn't even take up arms as they were riddled with bullets in their beds, while the units secretly assembled in the forest surrounding the city moved in. No surrender terms were offered to the American commander. He and the few survivors were dragged from the central compound they had bunkered in, tortured for information, and summarily executed. The photos of their mangled corpses sent to the American command to show that Reichskommissar Huttig always keeps his promises. The worst, however, came after the victory. As all non-Germans within the city were declared traitors to the Aryan race, the soldiers simply entered camps, tents, houses, and began killing. With bullets, with bayonets, with flamethrowers. The few who managed to escape told of SS covered from head to toe in human gore, rummaging through the bullet-ridden bodies of men, women, and children to find the few still breathing and finishing them with knives. This will surely have an impact upon the OFN coalition, and yet the war goes on. That's, I mean, what can you say? What can you say? Industry. The war effort. Okay, so we got that done. We got that. Let's try to run over here somewhere. We've got to get supply back to everybody. Oh, they keep putting more divisions there. Where's my tank? Where's my tank? He's right here. Okay. We're on our way, boys. We'll save you, whirly-bird flyboys. I'm trying to, you know, be humorous about the situation. What with the massacre and such. For once, now the tanks, it's going to be Patton all over again, saving the battered bastards of Bastogne. Let them have it. Come on, guys. Come on. Iberia offers to lease Sao Tome. As the war in South Africa continues to ramp up, so does the involvement of our Iberian partners. They've pledged a significant amount. So this is an area off the coast of Central and West Africa. Whilst plans for the usage of the island remain preliminary, we've accepted their proposal. It is estimated the logistical operations upon this island will commence in a matter of months. So it'll cost our reserve some money, but then we'll get supply help, and so will South Africa. Decryption increased. Yeah, let's do this. You know, speaking of doing this, let's okay, we're not doing any of these. We can do that. But we're going to reveal some intel against I always forget who's who. West Africa. Yeah, they're the ones with the double green. Oh, we're decrypting their stuff right now. Okay, dang it. So we can't reveal intel against them at the moment. I think we're going to be okay, though. Yep, we did it. We did it. We've relieved the battered bastards of Kentmanshire. Boy, what a story was that. You know, the South African army gets surrounded and killed here, and then the same thing almost happened to us, but this time the liberators of the 14th Army Division came to save the day. So, Kennedy presidency, we're done there. Time for the McCormick presidency. A president in disgrace, another president shot dead, a country in chaos, and an election barely a year away. To say that the situation of the Republican Democrats is dire would be the understatement of the century. Enter former Speaker of the House John McCormick, a man who never expected to hold the reins of power, who has regardless found them thrust into his hands. At such a dark moment in America's history, McCormick certainly will have his work cut out for him. With the election approaching, McCormick's tenure as president will be short. He has no intentions of running in the election, instead simply resolving to hold the Oval Office for the coming months, until a new commander-in-chief can be nominated. However, with his party in shambles and the National Progressive Party making unprecedented gains, he intends to use his brief tenure to try and right the ship and save the Republican Democrats from ruin. The tarnished legacy of Nixon will need to be addressed, a matter President Kennedy was unable to attend to in his tragically brief rule. The fallout of the South African War that Nixon thrust the country into will need to be carefully managed as well. If McCormick can successfully put out the flames that his party is currently engulfed in and restore some semblance of dignity to the government, the Republican Democratic Party may just manage to pull through, or at the very least survive absolute electoral decimation. You know, I just realized, I don't know if, I know the election will be in November, but surely there's going to be that transition period, right? You know, before the actual inauguration in January. That's how it is in Kaiserreich. Because if that's the case, then maybe I actually can finish all this stuff. So it looks like I'm going to have to make a choice. I can move past Nixon or save his legacy. The African gamble. Ooh, I like that. I have to save his legacy to, though. Oh, because then we just start talking about the war in South Africa, saying, like, you know, Nixon was a crook, but he also fought fascism. Got it. Got it. Home by Christmas increases speed. That's funny. Curb radicalism. I'm probably going to try to save his legacy. Crouching numbers at dusk. Just because of the South Africa thing. Okay. So we're gonna use our air assault divisions to kill these two, and then we actually want to come down here now. Yeah, there's gonna be a cutoff up there. This is not gonna be a proper encirclement. A brother alone. Despite his best efforts, Robert F. Kennedy could not hold back his tears. He was supposed to give a big speech about his brother's legacy, about the strength and dedication of his character, and how he was an example to all within the halls of power. That was true enough, but as he sat in the holding area awaiting his cue, he could only think of John as the brother he had looked up to. His greatest inspiration and his closest friend. He wondered if he should just call it off. So great was his grief. Grief and anger. John was killed because he was the president. He was only the president because of the Republican Democrats. Because of Nixon lying like a bitch and doing everything in his power to stop progress and change, killing the Civil Rights Act and forcing John to step up to the firing line in the most damnably literal way. The party had chewed him up and spat him out. They had used him, just like they had used the entire Kennedy family and dragged their name through the mud. When a staffer poked their head into the room to wave him on stage, Robert stilled his tears and prepared to give what will become one of the most shocking speeches of his career. After slowly ascending to the podium, he addressed the assembled crowd, giving a short but passionate eulogy in honor of his brother, extolling his candor, his way with words, and his dedication to America. The crowd nodded along, some cried, some bowed their heads, but none of them could prepare for what came next. My brother was loyal to the Republican Democrats, through and through. He was loyal as they made every effort to avoid bringing this country true equality and justice. He was loyal as they charged blindly into an unnecessary and bloody war in Africa. He was loyal as he was ignored until the time where they needed a man to clean up their mistakes. And he was loyal as the fallout of their ignorance resulted in the loss of his life. He paused as many in the crowd stared agape. At least two from the party mouthed words of astonishment and curses at him. His next line would live on in infamy. I was loyal to the Republican Democrats also. That ends today. Hell hath no fury like a brother scorned. Alright, so we have some new decisions that are available because of the India thing. I completely didn't even, look at that. So what is that? We have to go over here. Middle East, set up operations. Not particularly interested in that. No, where is this? Subsidize businesses in India, hand out loans, invest in startup companies. Where is that? Oh, here we go. So it'll increase our GDP growth. These are all good things. Let's just go ahead and invest. Dang, I probably actually should save that up for the Africa War. We have to win this Africa War. Well, we don't have to, but damn it, I want to hurt the fascists. Okay. Plus, look at how huge the Union has become. It's awesome. Talk about power in a Union. Probably also should just delete these orders. Okay, you're not doing anything. You need to get moving west. Iberia provides maps because the past colonial administration. That's fun. May the bombs rain down even more accurately than before. Yeah, there's not gonna be a pink map. But we might get a burnt orange one. Okay, so we're done with Ostafrika's decryption stuff. I thought I was decrypting South Africa, or can I only do one at a time or something? Am I missing things here? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. The fall of Windhawk. Yeah, we beat them again. It's back and forth. We can do another one. Yeah, let's do this while we can. Let's increase the GDP growth. And logistically, how are we doing? Okay, cool. We're almost caught back up on the tanks. Let's maybe increase how many we've got going on in there. We're still, but yeah, we got all those factories in Southern California that are now starting to come online, so it's good. It's a good thing. The work goes on. Red, white, and blue balloons have colonized the roof of the Republican Democratic Convention Hall, whereas the booming commotion indicates the party has come to decide who will be the Republican Democrats' next presidential candidate. Ignoring the no-hopers, the two front... Yeah, they're like, we got one guy killed, we're in South Africa, another one was pretty much going to be impeached, we're screwed. But the party has come to decide who will be the RD's next presidential candidate. Ignoring the no-hopers, the two front-runners are Republican Lyndon Johnson and Democrat Wallace Bennett. Young men wearing all the way with LBJ... Ah! What happened? Okay, whoops. Okay, first off, I'm going to do a cut here so I can just make a save file for, you know, future guides or anything if I decide to make one. Okay, and we're back. So, Bennett for America, they glare at each other through the wafting cigarette smoke. Yeah. Of course, it has always been, since as it has always been since the Senate of Rome, the real decision-making takes place behind closed doors, in a meeting room far removed from the hurly-burly of the convention hall, where a handful of craggly white-haired men smoke cigars and ponder which man would be more likely to play ball with the big dogs. If they were going to get past Nixon's disgrace in the year of 3 presidents, they needed a candidate who would be able to galvanize the public and counter the suddenly powerful NPP. Puffing away, they made the decision of who might govern the United States for the next 4 years, like they were deciding what to have for dinner. Wallace Bennett can provide us stability or all the way with LBJ. Well, I'm from Texas, so you know what it is. John McCormick never wanted this. His career had been most successful, for sure. He had always wanted to serve the country and the party, and in his tenure as Speaker of the House, he had performed admirably, if he did say so himself. Then Nixon lied, and Kennedy died, and suddenly this Boston... Oh my gosh, that's going to be a nursery rhyme, like in this world. It's like... He lied, he died, one lied, one died, one survived. The year of 3 presidents, or whatever. Suddenly, this Boston-born son of a hod carrier found himself thrust into the highest office of the land. The days seemed to blur together as he struggled to gather himself. The Oval Office was a whirlwind of activity, endless lines of politicians and secretaries rushing to give him the lay of the land. "More rioting in the South!" cried one. "Latest casualty reports from South Africa, Mr. President," said another. The podium at the press conference was another beast. He had lost count of the amount of times he had uttered the phrases national tragedy and difficult times for us all in front of flashing cameras over the last few days. Finally, whenever he found himself a brief moment to relax, he would pick up the newspaper and read all about the grim poll forecasts and the endless rumor mill and the countless reports of anti-war protests and continuing civil rights clashes and lines of coffins returning from overseas. One night, sleep truly eluded him, and he found himself in the Oval Office, sitting in darkness save only for the lights flooding in from the White House lawn. His presidency would not be a successful one. He accepted that. He made no plans to run in the election to try and legitimize or extend his rule, but perhaps he could steady the nation well enough that he who came after him could be within a shot of triumph. Steeling himself, the caretaker president prepared for the ordeal ahead. All we can do is try. You think he's going to get a library? I want to visit some more presidential libraries. I've only been to one, but it was really cool. I definitely would like to see more. The shock and uncertainty sparked by the waves of scandals. Okay, basically it's just everybody stay calm! This is fine! While the White House is on fire. Okay, new friends. The NPP Center's head office was empty as Robert Kennedy entered. He helped himself to a seat and sat patiently as he waited for an indeterminate amount of time. He wondered if what he was doing was too much, or if anyone would take him seriously, given he had been an establishment stooge for far too long. Still, he had to try. Finally, the door to the office swung open. In walked Scoop Jackson, followed by his underlings Nuremberg and Nuremberger. The three regarded Kennedy curiously, yet hopefully, as they sat opposite him, each shaking his hand in turn. Scoop was the first to speak. "This is certainly unusual, but I hear good things about you, Mr. Kennedy. We have a few questions for you before you go any further." Over the next 20 minutes, the impromptu Center Committee picked Robert's brain over a wide variety of issues. For just 20 minutes, okay. "How committed are you to the Civil Rights Act?" asked Scoop. "You agree that the state of healthcare in this country is a disgrace?" asked Harrington. "Don't you think this country could do more to protect the environment?" asked Neuberger. It felt almost like a college debate club, but Robert answered all their questions thoroughly and enthusiastically. As their questioning came to a close, Robert spoke up. "The Republican Democrats no longer represent this country, nor are they willing to do what is necessary for its people. I want to join you, because I feel you represent the change I believe in. and the change that my brother believed in. Scoop glanced sideways to his associates. Newberger nodded with a smile. Harrington paused, then gave a small nod in assent. Scoop beamed brightly. It seemed he had finally found the man he was looking for. Mr. Kennedy, how would you like to be president? Kennedy crosses the aisle. Surf mania, we're gonna have whatever. He was out of the dating game. Oh, poor Brian Wilson's gone. It's a genuine fact that surfers rule. Hang 10, y'all. Yeah, learn to play Wipeout on the guitar, kids. Chicks love it. Wipeout. That and tequila. Well, not so much tequila on the guitar. It's just the... But learn to play Wipeout. Gonna be able to drown a baby in their panties, know what I mean? Anyway, let's get back on track here. Let's see. Bormann's Germany has defeated Heydrich's. The world is just a barrel organ which the Lord God turns himself. We'll have to dance to the tune which is already on the drum. Checkmate. The house of cards will fall like a box of dominoes. Checkmate. So did we end up expanding ground operations more, or like, is that done? Can we, send more volunteers now? Yes, we can send 2 more. Now that other, airborne division should be done yet. Also, should be done now, excuse me. Yeah, let's just keep increasing the size. Let's get up to a full 20, so we can now do 1 more after this. Let's drop them in Mississippi. And I might want to just also send another tank division, because we're going to have to wait. No, yeah, we will just wait. We're fine. We're fine. There's no, like, urgent rush. So this is the 13th Airborne. Oh, excuse me. 13th Airborne. What is this one called? The Golden Unicorns. Yeah, we're going to change that. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's not Nam, baby. Or what do they call it? SOF? What do they call it, like, South Africa? It's like, man, I was in SOF, man. U.S. Air Force, it's the Luanda Arms Factories. Cool, so we got political power. Very nice. So we're going to expand the ground operations more. Oh, have we maxed out our advisory level? Yeah, because we did great, I think. So, okay. So we're going to be able to send 1 more airborne unit soon. And that'll be that. And now there's just nothing to it but to do it. Let's start slicing them up. Okay, I've got 1 division here, another one's here. Kind of maybe hold. Let's go over this way. And, yeah, let's hope that the South Africans figure this out and do this on their own. But that's going to be a nice encirclement. Yeah, we've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 divisions, 11 divisions, all surrounded. Very, very good. Oh, shoot, it's been a half hour. Okay, so that's it for today's episode. In the next episode, we're gonna have most of my volunteer divisions focus on closing this pocket up. Because we're wanting to kill divisions. Like I said, we're trying to kill divisions. We're not going to worry so much about actually physically taking land. Because we'll depend on the South Africans to do that, even as they do it at like the slowest speed they possibly can, it seems. But they technically don't even have all of their own homeland back here yet, or do they? Yeah, because this is like a core of their space. So yeah, exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. I think in the next episode we might be able to get to the election, but we're definitely gonna figure out Nixon's legacy. I'm currently leaning saving it, but I'll think about it. Oh, there's also this like soul interment thing. This can set precedent for the future. Requires healing a broken nation. Oh, so I could say he's in torment, but he was right, or like, okay, so it's not exclusive. So it's basically, how do we feel about South Africa, and then how do we feel about him as a person? That's what it kind of seems to look like. Anyway, I'll see you next time.